So today I want to share my thoughts with you about prayer. Now I know that most of you already think that, hey, what can you teach me about prayer? I already know what prayer is. My pastor taught me, my priest, my rabbi taught me about prayer and how to pray. I already know everything there is to know about prayer, right? And so, and that's okay. And that's okay. But I just want to share my thoughts with you on what I think prayer is and how to actually pray more effectively, right? Not from a religious perspective, but I think this comes from my own experience, right? I mean, I come from a religious background, a Christian to be specific, and I was taught about what prayer is. And so, but over the years, as I've gained more experience and more knowledge, I've had to redefine what I think prayer is for myself personally. And that's what I want to share with you today. So be open minded about it. Perhaps it can also shed some light and give you a different perspective on what prayer is. And so growing up, I was taught that prayer is a way of communicating with God about your desires, about your needs, about your thoughts and your feelings, right? So you are talking to God and you are telling God about what you're thinking and what you are feeling and what your desires are and what your needs and wants are, right? So it's just a way of communicating with God about those things. And that's what prayer is, right? Well, it doesn't matter how you really do it, whether you do it standing up or kneeling down or walking, doesn't really matter. But the basis of it, that's what prayer is. It's just a way of communicating with God and speaking to him about whatever that is in your heart or in your mind. And that's how I did it. That's how I used to pray as well. If there is anything that bothers me, anything that's on my mind, or anything that's happening in my life, then I would then speak to God about it. I would talk to God about it and tell him that this is what's happening in my life, and I need you to help me with this thing that I'm going through and that I'm experiencing. So that's what I have always known prayer to be, and that's how I've always done it as well. Like most people are still doing it today. But like I said, over the years, I've had to redefine the meaning of that word, prayer, what it is and what it means, and how I have to pray. Like, what is the best way to pray? And so this is what I wanted to share with you today about what I've come to understand and learn about that word prayer. What is prayer? So the previous way that I did it, I felt like I was always praying from a position of lack. I was always praying from a position of lack and separation. Because if I'm going to pray to God about something and I'm saying, God, can you help me with this? God, I need this. I'm going through this. Can you? So what I'm basically saying is, I am separate from the object of my desire. Whatever it is that I'm praying about, then it means that I'm acknowledging that I don't have it. So I'm asking God to help me to have it. So if you are praying because you are unable to forgive someone and you are saying to God, can you please help me to forgive so and so? So what you are saying essentially is that I don't have the ability to forgive. And I need you to help me so that I can forgive this person. I am angry and I need you to help me to stop being angry so that I can be happy and be at peace. So you are saying that you don't have happiness and you don't have peace. So you are asking someone to actually help you so that you can be at peace and happy and stop being angry, right? So if you are going through some financial situation in your life, so what you are basically saying is you are saying that I'm going through this and I need this in my life. I need a financial breakthrough. I want to experience more abundance in my life because I don't have this and that, and this is what's happening in my life. So you are acknowledging basically, that you don't have this or that in your life, and therefore you are asking God to come to your aid and your assistance to help you so that you can get rid of that, so that you can experience more abundance, more financial abundance in your life, get out of your debts, pay your car, your house, or whatever. So you are asking God for the ability to be able to, have more financial abundance in your life, because you're saying that you don't have it. So most of our prayers are made up of asking and requesting and asking for permission, asking for the right, asking this and that and that. So we're always asking in our prayers. So by virtue of you asking, you are simply acknowledging that I don't have this. I lack that in my life. So it creates a separation between you and what you are praying about, between you and the object of your desire. So there is a separation there. There is an element of lack. You are praying from a position of lack and separation. And for as long as you continuously pray from a position of lack and separation from what you want, then you will continuously not have it, because you are confessing. You are confessing and acknowledging that you don't have it. And that will persist in your life. And you wonder, why you continuously pray and ask God for things and they don't show up in your life. Why is that? Because you are acknowledging and confessing that you don't have it, that you are lacking it. Because when you say that I need this in my life, I want this in my life, you are saying you don't have it. And that's why you are praying, so that you can have it. So that is praying from a position of lack. It means that you are not in possession of the thing. You are separate from it. So that type of prayer for me doesn't work. It doesn't work. I can recall so many times where I've prayed for things and say, God, can you help me with this? Can you give me that? Can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? What I'm saying is, I don't have the ability to do it. What I'm saying is, I'm separate from it. What I'm saying is, I lack that thing. And so for as long as I am confessing and acknowledging that I lack that thing, as long as I confess that I don't have it, then it means that I'm separate from it. It is not mine. I don't possess it. I don't have it. And because I'm confessing that, that's exactly what's going to keep manifesting and happening in my life. Lack and separation from the object of your desire, or whatever it is that you are desiring and you are praying over. You'll always not have it because you are confessing that you don't have it in your prayer. That is not an effective way of praying for me. It's not. And that's how most of us have been taught to pray, from that position of lack and that position of separation, because you are praying for something and about something, and you are praying to someone about it to help you have it. That is separation and lack for me. And for as long as you keep thinking like that and praying like that, then you will continue experiencing that lack of the thing that you actually want. So there's a conflict there in a sense that you desire something, but at the same time, when you confess and say, hey, I don't have it, when you pray that you don't have it, because that's what you are doing essentially. When you're praying for something and about something, you are acknowledging that you don't have it. And that is lack. You are praying from a position of lack. And that is why you are not going to have whatever it is that you are praying for, whatever dream you have, whatever desire you have, whatever that you think about. And you keep saying it and saying, I need this, I want this, I want this. You pray, can you help me with this? It's not going to happen in your life, because you are acknowledging and confessing the lack of it. And that means you are separate from it, and you will continue being separate from it, because you are praying from that position of lack and separation. Does it make sense? And so I understand that's how most of us have been praying. So you were taught that when you pray, you are communicating with God. You are talking to God about your desires, what you think, and so on and so forth. So for me, that is praying from a place of lack and separation. It is not the best way to pray. It doesn't bring results the way that you want. And so here's what I think prayer is, based on my own experience. And these are my thoughts and views that I'm sharing about prayer, right? You see, there is nothing that you and I can think about that we don't already have. There is nothing that you and I can think about that we are not already. Anything and everything that you can think about, you already are that. You already have it. Already have it. And I'll tell you why. You are a full creation of God. You are a complete creation of God. There is nothing that you lack in your design. There is nothing that you lack. Absolutely nothing that you can think about that you don't already have and you are not already. Absolutely nothing. You are not just created. You emerged from the substance, the very substance of God. You emerged from that. You emerged from the presence of God. You emerged from the very nature of God. So there is nothing that you want, that you desire, that you don't already have. There is nothing that you want or desire that you are not already. Absolutely nada. Nothing. I think the best example I can use about emerging from the substance of God, from the presence of God, is the example of the ocean and the wave. I like using that example a lot because it makes sense to me. It makes sense a lot to me. The example of the ocean and the wave. You see, a wave is not created. It just emerged from the ocean. It's just a body of water that emerged from the ocean. It wasn't created. It's always been there. It's always been there. So it just emerged out of the ocean. So it's just a body of water that comes out and rises from the ocean. That's all it is. So that is an example of emerging. It's coming out of something. So that's who we are. We emerged from the ocean of God. We emerged from that and we manifested in this form. But we came from the very substance of God. So you can't create a wave. A wave, just because it's a body of water that manifests itself in a different form or shape, it doesn't mean that it's separate from the very essence and the substance from which it came. It's still connected to the substance and the source from which it came from. It just manifested in a different form or shape, but it's still connected to the ocean that it emerged from. So you and I emerged from God. And as we emerged from God, we are still connected to that very same source. We came from that. We emerged from that. We were not created as a separate entity away from God. We emerged from that, and we are still very much connected to that same substance and to that same source. So that means you and I have everything that we need. We already have it. We are already empowered and are able in order for us to make happen anything that we want in life. So there is no lack in your creation. Like they say, you were fearfully and wonderfully made. So there is nothing that you lack. Now, it's important to understand that because it then changes how you pray. Because you begin to understand the meaning of prayer. You begin then to understand how to pray. Because now you know that, listen, there is nothing that I lack. There's absolutely nothing that I can think about that I don't already have and that I am not already. So that changes even how you pray. Because previously you were praying from a position of lack, a position of not having something. So now that's why you had to pray to someone for you to be able to get assistance and to help you get whatever it is that you wanted. But now that you understand that the very thing that you were praying for and about, you are the embodiment of it. You already possess it. You are already it. It is your experiences of life and of the world that have given you the illusion that you are actually separate from the object of your desire. So your experiences of life have now created this perception, these thoughts in your mind that you don't have it already. Therefore, you need to pray about it so that you can ask someone to assist you, to help you to get it, because you don't have it. But when you remove all of these thoughts and perceptions that you formed because of your experiences of life, when you remove them, you then begin to realize that I've been praying for something that I've had this whole time. This whole time I've been praying for peace when I already have it. This whole time I've been praying for a forgiving heart when I already have it. This whole time I've been praying for love when I already have it. I've been praying for life. Oh, God, give me life. God, give me love. God, I want peace in my life. I want to be happy. You didn't know that. And that's why you were praying from that position of ignorance and lack. But when you remove all of these thought forms and perceptions that you have formed because of your life's experiences, you begin to see yourself for what you really are. That, you know what, I already have it all. I already have it all. Like I am a complete creature. I'm a complete creation. There is nothing that I lack. Once you know and understand that, you no longer pray to, but you begin to pray from a place of recognition to that which you know yourself to be and have already. So you no longer have to ask permission for anything. You no longer have to ask a right for anything. You no longer have to request and beg and do all of these things. Religion is full of beggars, people that ask and beg, when you don't have to ask for anything, because everything that you think you want and desire, it's already yours by nature, because you emerged from the nature and the presence and the substance of God. So there is nothing that you can imagine and think about that you don't already have. So from that understanding then, what is prayer then? Prayer is an instrument of recognition to that which we know ourselves to already be and have. It's just a recognition mechanism or a tool, instrument that we use in acknowledgement and confession to recognize ourselves for what and who we already are in the presence of God. So when you pray, basically, it is an utterance of words which recognizes your nature, your being. So as you pray, you are affirming and declaring that which you know yourself to be and possess already. So prayer is just an utterance of words in recognition to that which you already are by nature. By nature. So when you pray, there's no need to ask. You just need to validate, and you just need to affirm and declare and confess that which you already know yourself to be and have. That's it. That's it. You just declare. A prayer is just a form of declaration in recognition to that which you already are. So you are praying from a place of assurance, from a place of knowing. You are praying from a place of awareness of that which you already are. So you are praying for the manifestation of that object of your desire. You are praying for the unfoldment of the object of your desire. You are no longer asking for it. You are no longer begging for it. You are declaring and affirming that this which I desire in my heart, I'm already in possession of it. There's no separation between me and the object of my desire. So you are now beginning to declare it. You are affirming it. So when you pray from that which you already possess, because you came from the substance of God. You are a manifestation of God. It's like God implanted himself when you and I were conceived in our mother's wombs. When that happened, God implanted himself. He prepared a body, which is this. He prepared this when you and I were conceived in our mother's wombs. He prepared an outfit, a garment that he's going to wear, and he implanted himself in that garment, which is his body. And then you and I were born into this world. Our birth into this world was a manifestation and a revelation of the unfoldment of God as you and I. So you and myself, you and I are the manifestation and the revelation of God in this form. So we are the substance of God. We are the manifestation of the substance of God in this shape and form. Because God implanted himself in this body so that he can demonstrate and express his nature in this life. So you and I are here as the manifestation of the substance and the presence of God to demonstrate and express the nature of God that we possess in this body, in this garment, in this outfit that we are wearing. So this physical face that you and I have, this body that you and I have, is just a garment. It's just an outfit that God has prepared for himself in order to implant himself so that he can go about this planet Earth to demonstrate and express his nature and experience himself. So we are the consciousness of God walking this earth, experiencing itself and demonstrating and expressing itself. So since we are the embodiment of love, we embody peace, we embody joy and abundance. You and I embody intelligence, we embody wisdom, we embody creativity and innovation. We embody all these magnificent, beautiful attributes of the divine because we are the substance, the very substance of God. We emerged from that. So when you pray in your life, you pray in declaration. When you go into that room and you go and say, I'm going to pray. When you wake up in the morning, I see a lot of people who wake up in the middle of the night and they say, I'm going to pray. People wake up very early in the morning around 4 a.m., 5 a.m. Before their day starts, they say, I'm going to pray. Before they go to sleep, they say, I'm going to pray, which is a good thing. It's a good thing to pray, right? But how do you pray then? So you don't go into your room and you kneel down and you begin to say, oh God, I am here. Can you please protect so-and-so? Can you please watch over my family? Can you please bless my business, bless my family, bless my job? Can you bless it? No. You are praying from a place of ignorance. You are praying from a place of lack because when you say, can you please bless my family? What you're saying is your family is not blessed already. What you are saying, when you pray for peace in your life, what you are saying is you don't have peace in your life. When you are praying for blessings in your business, in your job, what you are saying is there are no blessings in those places. So you are asking God to bless those places. That is a wrong way to pray. You don't pray like that. But you pray in declaration and affirmation. You pray with authority by understanding that I am the embodiment of the substance of God. I am directly connected to the source. And therefore, I am going to pray from that position of knowing, from that position of self-awareness, the awareness of my nature, because I know that God has implanted himself and manifested himself as me into this world so that he can demonstrate, express his nature, so that he can experience himself as he go about this planet Earth in this body. So when you pray, you should pray in declaration. You should pray in affirmation. You should pray in authority because you understand who you are. So your prayers should be prayers of gratitude and affirmations and declaration. Those three things: affirmation, declaration, and gratitude. Because you understand who you are. For example, I'll give you a practical example, right? So it doesn't matter what declarations and affirmations you use for yourself. You can use something that is personal to you, that means something to you. You can use those declarations and affirmations, right? But because I'm from a Christian background, as I said, and I'm going to make a simple example that you can understand, right? It doesn't matter what religion you come from, but you can use what is personal to you, what you can relate to, okay? So for example, people go around saying, I'm a conqueror. Greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. I'm the righteousness of God. I'm the apple of God's eye. Those are declarations. You're not saying, oh God, can you help me be the apple of your eye? Oh God, can you help me to be righteous? Because the moment you say, can you help me to be righteous? Oh God, can you fix my heart? Oh God, can you do this for me? Oh God, help me to be a conqueror. So what you are in essence doing is you are confessing and acknowledging that you are not a conqueror. So you are asking God to help you to be a conqueror. When you say, God, can you help me to be righteous? What you are saying is, God, I'm not righteous, so I want you to help me to be righteous. God, help me to be great. You are saying, I'm not great, so I need you to help me to. Those are confessions. You are saying you are not those things. When you already are, you are already great. You are already magnificent. You are intelligent. You are a genius. You are wise. You know, you are creative. You are already righteous. You are already a conqueror. So when you pray in confession to these things that I am a conqueror. I am the righteousness of God. I know that I am great. I know that I am magnificent. I am wonderful. I'm an amazing creature. Why? Because you emanated, you emerged from the presence of God. You came from God. You are the substance of God himself manifested in you and as you. So when you pray in validation and confirmation and declaration of that which you know yourself to be already. So prayer is supposed to be a declaration from a place of knowing, not a place of uncertainty, but from a place of certainty. And you pray with authority. So you are love manifested in this form. You are peace. So everywhere you go, you are supposed to go with peace and love. You're supposed to have to spread life. Even in your workspace, in your business, the people that you come into contact with, you are supposed to spread love and life and joy and light and peace and intelligence and wisdom and safety and assurance and trust and hope. Because all of these qualities, you embody them because you emanated, you came from the substance of God. So when you pray, you have to pray in recognition of that. You have to pray in declaration and affirmation of that. So a prayer is supposed to be a weapon that you use for yourself to declare. As you go out there, you declare, you affirm. You're not a beggar. You don't come from a history of begging. You don't come from that. Your nature is not that of begging and asking. No, it's that of knowing and assurance. So you have to walk in that authority of knowing and understanding exactly who and what you are. And even how you pray changes. So when you pray, And you say, I'm so grateful for the peace that my family is enjoying, for the love and happiness and joy that is in my family. I'm so grateful for the abundance that is reigning supreme in my life, in my job, in my business, in everyone that I come into contact with. I am so grateful because I am the embodiment of love and peace and joy and life and light and happiness and wisdom and intelligence. So wherever I go, I'm spreading intelligence, I'm spreading wisdom, I'm spreading compassion and patience, I am spreading forgiveness and love, I'm spreading all the wonderful things that I embody because I came from the substance of God. So I am spreading love wherever I go. That is supposed to be how you pray. And if you face some situation in your finances, for example, or with your kids, if you face a situation in your kids where your children are rebellious and they don't listen to you, you're not enjoying a good relationship with your kids, you're not supposed to be praying, say, oh my God, I pray that you help me to have a good relationship with my kids. My God, please change my children and make them better kids. No, you're not supposed to be praying from that place of lack. Because if you're saying that change my children, help me enjoy a good relationship, what you are saying is I am not enjoying a good relationship with my kids. So you are confessing a lack, something that you don't have. That means there's a separation between you and the object of your desire. You shouldn't pray like that. When you pray, you should say, God, I'm intelligent and I am wise. Because I know that I came from you. I emerged from you. So I embody all the intelligence and the wisdom in the world to be able to bring up my kids in the right way. I know that I have the ability to build a good relationship with my kids. And I'm so grateful for that intelligence and that wisdom that I have within me because I know that I carry your DNA and your substance in me. So I'm so grateful for this because I know that I'm going to enjoy a good relationship with my kids and I'm going to bring them up well. Now that's a different kind of prayer as opposed to, God help me please, my kids don't listen to me, they're so rebellious of me, I don't understand what is it that I have to do more because I'm so clueless, God please, I'm so powerless. No, you don't pray like that. That's such a weak prayer. A strong prayer is a prayer of authority and declaration. I'm sure some of you can think back in your life. You can think back in your life where when you were praying and begging and pleading and crying and asking for things, it didn't happen. They just, you continued having the same experiences over and over and over again with nothing changing in your life. But there were days where you said, you know what? I'm not going to let this happen in my life because I'm born of God. I'm a child of God and I'm not going to be harassed by this and that in my life. These things are going to change in my life. I will not accept this. I will not accept that. You were declaring now because you were praying from a position of self-awareness and understanding who you were. And now everything has to change because you are praying from a place of confession and recognition of who and what you are. So even whatever situation you face in your business or at work, think about the outcomes. How do you want things to be in your job? How do you want things to be in your business? Think about those things. And then once you have a clear idea and objective of whatever it is that you want, then you begin to pray in declaration and confession of the outcome that you want. You begin to pray based on from that place. Now you are praying for the unfoldment of that which you already know to be true on the inside of you. You are now confessing it, declaring and affirming and putting a stamp on it. Now that's a different kind of prayer, and that's how we should pray as beings that emanated from this divine intelligence, this wise intelligence that we came from. That's how we should pray. We're not beggars. We shouldn't pray like one because we don't come from that nature and that history of begging and asking. Don't be fooled by all of these books that you read that talk about, oh, you need to make your request known. You need to let the Lord know what is it that you want. You need to, no. You just declare. Just declare. Say it. Whatever it is that you want, whatever it is that you desire, whatever outcome, say it. from that position of knowing that you already have it and possess it. Now, that kind of prayer is a prayer that doesn't come from separation and lack, but from the embodiment and the possession of the thing that you desire and want. You already possess it. You are just affirming it, validating it, putting a stamp on it, and agreeing with your nature that this is who I am and what I already have. Yes, I may have difficulties of forgiving this person because they have inflicted so much pain in my life. But what I know to be true is that I have the ability to forgive this person. It's in my nature to forgive. I have a forgiving heart. It is just a matter of you choosing whether you want to forgive that person or not. If you are an angry person, if you are someone that feels that you are angry, you don't pray and say, God, I want peace in my life. I want to love. I want happiness. I don't want this anger anymore. Help me to be happy and be at peace and take away this anger. That's a weak prayer. A strong prayer is a prayer of declaration, of saying, I am so grateful because I know that I am the embodiment of love and peace and happiness. They are part of my nature. Anger is not part of my nature. So I am so grateful that I get to experience this love and joy in my heart. And as I bring it out from within me, so when you pray like that, you are basically recognizing your nature, and you are now praying for its unfoldment by affirmation and declaration. Now that is how you pray. That's what prayer is, and that is how you pray. Stop praying weak prayers. Stop praying like you are beggars, man. It is not in your nature to beg. The DNA that runs in your spirit and in your mind, it emanated, it emerged from the presence of God. So you and I are the manifestation. We are the unfoldment of the substance of God. God manifested himself as us. We are the manifestation of that very essence and substance that made all of these things. That's what it means to be in the image of God. It's got nothing to do with this. So our experiences of life and of the world and everything that we've been exposed to, they have created this illusion that we are separate from God. We are separate from the objects of our desires. Hence the need to have to pray too for those things. But when you change your perspective and perception, you now begin to pray from in recognition to that which you already are. Now you are praying for the manifestation and the unfoldment of it, because you understand that you are the embodiment of it. So the reason why you beg and you ask for things and permission and right for this and that is because you are ignorant. You don't understand. That's why you pray such weak prayers. They're very weak prayers, and you don't get your prayers answered. Because of that, you are praying from a place of lack. A place of lack. So it's time to change things around. Start praying in affirmation and declaration. Don't beg anymore. Don't ask. Don't ask. It is not in your nature to be asking for things. Please, if there is any book that tells you to be asking for things, you must burn that book or tear out that page and burn it. Because you don't come from a family of asking and begging. You're not a beggar. You are supposed to replenish and take by authority. Be brave enough to stand up for yourself. Be brave enough to know who you are and show up as that. Be brave enough and courageous enough to say, you know what, this is who I am. I don't care what I'm going through at work. I don't care what my business is going through. I don't care what's happening in my family. But you know what? I know that this is who I am and that is what I embody. And all of that is about to change. It's about to change because I know who I fucking am. I know who I am. And that is going to change. It has to change. It has to respond to that kind of energy that you are portraying and exhibiting out there. It has to respond because now you are praying from a position of authority. And sometimes it may even be that when you declare and affirm, things seems to be hardening even worse and getting even more difficult. Don't worry about that. Perhaps that is just a way of life trying to test you if you are really serious about what you want. So you need to be brave enough to declare and affirm and put a stamp on it and be like, you know what? I don't care what's happening with my children. I don't care what's happening in my life, my business, my work, wherever. I don't care what's happening with my career. But what I know for a fact is this: I am the embodiment. I've got all the intelligence and wisdom in the world and creativity and innovation to bring about any change I want in my life, because I am the embodiment of these wonderful things. So I have what it takes to turn things around for my life. And that takes bravery, it takes courage, it takes boldness to show up for yourself as that. So be brave enough. Be courageous enough to don't feel ashamed or embarrassed to pray like that. That's who you are. It's your nature. It's who you are. You are simply stepping into your nature. You are simply stepping into your own royal, into your own royalty. That's who you are. Nobody's going to fault you for it. That's who you are, because you, my friend, you emanated, you emerged from the presence of God, which is that of intelligence, that of love, joy, and magnificence, and all the brilliance you can think about. You emerged from that. So you are the very embodiment of that. God manifested himself as you in this world to demonstrate, express himself so that he can experience his own nature as you, nobody else but you. As your unique self, you are a unique manifestation of the intelligence of God in order for him to demonstrate himself as the unique you that you are and nobody else. And so when you pray, you need to pray from that. Oh, it's so hard. Don't mind me sweating. It's so hard. And I'm feeling what I'm saying as well. I'm feeling what I'm saying. But you understand. I hope this makes sense to you. I hope you understand that from here going forward, as you pray, change how you pray. Look at yourself differently. And from that, when you look at yourself differently, and you'll begin to pray differently. No longer from a position of being a beggar, no longer from a position of asking, but from a position of affirming and declaration and validation and confirming and confessing that which you know yourself to be and have. So there's absolutely nothing that you can think about that you don't already have. There's nothing that you can think about that you are not already. Absolutely nothing, because you are the embodiment of the very substance and presence of God. You emanated, you emerged from the ocean of God. You are like that wave that came out of the presence of God, and it manifested itself in a different form and shape. You are that wave. There is no wave that looks like the other wave. All the waves are different and express themselves differently. They are a unique manifestation of the ocean. So you also are a unique, a distinct manifestation of the presence and the intelligence of God as you, my friend, as you. So begin to walk in that authority, in that assurance, in that trust of knowing yourself to be the embodiment of divinity. Act as such. Speak like that. Walk like that. So prayer is an instrument, is a tool that we use in recognition to that which we already know ourselves to be. Prayer is just an utterance of words in affirmation and declaration and confirmation of who and what we know ourselves to be already. So don't let all your world experiences fool you into thinking any different about yourself. Remove all of this clutter, all of these things that are covering up the diamond that you are. Remove all of them, and you begin to see yourself for who and what you truly are. That you are the embodiment of the very intelligence and presence of God. You came from that. You emanated, you emerged from that. And God implanted himself and manifested himself and birthed himself out into this world as you, in order to demonstrate, express himself in this world, to express his magnificence, his power, his authority, his love, his peace and joy. Every time you are happy and you are at peace, it's actually God experiencing himself through you and as you. Every time you excel in your career and you do well, you bless others, you make a difference in other people's lives, that is actually God demonstrating and expressing his nature through you and as you. Because that's what he came here for. That's why God manifested himself as you into this realm of life, so that he can do exactly that. So when you hurt others, you must know that you're actually hurting God himself, because God is the embodiment of everybody. So when you hurt others, you're actually hurting God. And the pain that people feel is the very same pain that God is feeling. When people hurt, God is hurting. When people are angry at something, some injustice or whatever, it's actually God being angry at the injustice. So it is merely God is expressing himself through us. So the emotions that we feel when we feel hurt, we feel angry, we feel all of these emotions that we feel, it is actually God experiencing them through us and as us. Because we are the personification of God. We are the embodiment, the substance of God in this world. So we should live as such, behave as such, speak as such, walk as such, think as such. Now that is a very powerful life to live when you live like that. Even when you wake up in the morning, you wake up with full understanding of who you are, because wherever you go, there must be love, there must be peace, there must be life, there must be light. When you walk into your job, you are life. You are life manifested in this form. You are life. You should spread life wherever you go. Everywhere you walk is holy ground. Everywhere you walk is holy ground, because you are the embodiment of the substance and the presence of God. So everywhere you go, you have to display and exhibit and demonstrate the nature of God, which is you. Now that is what prayer is about. And that is how to pray. I hope that makes sense.